Welcome to Two Voices. I'm On.
And I'm Alfred. It's funny because we're talking, and the whole time in the back of my mind I'm thinking about how I'm reading an article right now on English usage by David Foster Wallace. And
Who's David Foster Wallace for
those people who don't want to know? Okay, hold on. Let me show you who David Foster Wallace is. This is David Foster Wallace, okay? This is the book, Consider the Lobster. And as you can see, my bookmark is right here under the article called Authority and American Usage. And, yes, and it's an interesting article talking about, we've now sort of blended into a more serious rejoinder to philosophical descriptivism. From the fact that linguistic communication is not strictly dependent on usage and grammar, it does not necessarily follow the traditional rules of usage and grammar are nothing but inconsequential decorations. So,
how is this
irrelevant?
Yes. Other than awesome.
Well, yeah, no, because this is it talks all about the essential rules that exist in sentence structure. And like when do you use certain words and when do you not, and it's actually more specifically regarding whether or not you can use people who decide according to what most people use versus set rules, the descriptivists versus the prescriptivists. And I will have to find this one sentence earlier, which was really ironic because it was saying how, it's more important that you are understood and communicate what you're saying and he used the words that nobody could understand to say it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting.
Well, the people who would read his book would probably
I read his book, and I don't know all the words. There's a lot of times, and he's almost like getting to the point where I'm going to be forced to learn what solipsism means, because he uses them so many freaking times.
And he didn't break it down?
Oh no, he uses those words every time.
I think that's the problem with writers. You get so into your head and so into your universe, you forget to leave those ladders out so other people can climb, on it to reach wherever your plateau is or wherever you are at that moment. Yeah. And that's part of communication. I do that all the time. I'm like, oh, people will get this, and I take that away, and people are reading and I was like, wait, what? Oh, darn it. They asked the question of what that, the ladder should have answered for them, so I was like, okay, guess I'm putting that back in.
Yeah, but the thing with him, and I know we've gone on a tangent though, is that some of the things, when people probably told him, dude, you gotta stop using those words, nobody knows what they mean, he should have listened. Other times, they probably told him, like, dude, don't put footnotes and then footnotes on footnotes.
Oh yeah, that's just a little bit too much.
That's what you say, and I agree with you sometimes, but actually I think he does it very effectively.
Oh really?
Yeah, I actually like it. I like it because...
But the thing is, what's good is that if that's your structure, and you stick with it, then it works.
Well,
if you don't
say the same thing about the words that he uses, because he does stick to using those words. Okay. So it's a matter of, I think I applaud the fact that he stuck to his guns on a lot of things, and I am willing to forgive the fact that he uses words I don't freaking understand.
Concepts you may not understand?
No, concepts I'm fine with. It's just a word that I don't know what the technical definition of it is, and I'd have to grab a dictionary or look it up on my phone, and I don't want to do that. While he's... Because the other things that he does that nobody else likes.
Is this... Once you become specialized, once you have reached the point where you don't really need or find as much value in, say, a writing workshop, is this the next step to learning specialized writing techniques or being introduced to...
This meaning what, reading it?
Yeah, reading it.
Oh.
Picking up a book and reading the words of a writer and the processes of a writer versus being into the class and interacting and learning maybe sometimes even through osmosis.
I don't know. I mean, the funny thing is, he actually taught. He would teach in one of the Cal States, I believe.
Yeah. But not everyone can go to the class, so
Well, he can't now because
his
he
way?
committed suicide. So.
Well, but when he was still alive and
Yeah.
teaching, not everyone can go to that class.
Right.
So this is another alternative.
Sure.
To instructing, more high level writing.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think so. I definitely think so.
Do you find value in that though?
I do. I'm finding it interesting. I like the fact that he has certain guns he's stuck to, for lack of a better phrase, like the footnotes, and also I'm seeing that it's dangerous to go too far. Like I think he's going too far with the word usage. But I personally am tempted to write like him all the time, and people say you write too freaking much. It's too boring. It's too goes too far.
Too esoteric.
That's too esoteric, and I'm.
Yeah.
Well, I read it, so I enjoy when he does it, and I'm thinking to myself, there's ways of pulling this off. One of them is inject humor. He injects a lot of humor into his articles, and his best ones are the ones that are most full of humor. And then when you have the most humor, then you can get away with as much as he does.
But see, that's
crazy
the bridge
style.
then. That's the bridge. You're not hitting people over the head with a brick.
Yeah.
You're giving them those breaks.
Yeah, exactly.
To absorb.
Yeah, he's giving those breaks to absorb, and it allows him to do things his way, and it's very effective. But it's
well, he's true to his voice, but he's also found a way to bridge with people who may not be as in that parallel universe.
Yeah.
So he's giving bridges by humor for people to enter his realm.
Yeah. And they're little breaks from like having to read very dense paragraphs and very dense sections. But I like writers like that. I like Faulkner and people like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there are people who there's always an audience. You just have to be able to communicate with them.
Right. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I think about when I'm reading is that what's interesting about the footnotes is that the fact that the footnote is deeply lower than the text isn't as important as the fact that it's smaller font. And it almost makes me wish I could, in my own writing style, be like, okay, here's some important stuff, and here's an aside, so I'm going to actually write it a little smaller. And now here's some important stuff, here's an aside, I'm going to write it a little smaller, which is basically what I want to do, because then people can kind of breeze through it and go like, okay, I'm on a tangent, I know I'm going to get back to a major thoroughway soon enough, so I don't have to I just have to go through this one little section, then we're going back on a topic, otherwise you get so lost reading this stuff.
But that's also the choice of the writer. How am I going to structure this world?
Sure.
Sort of is there going to be gravity? Is there going to be, plains? Are there going to be mountains and steps? So that's pretty much what you have to build for people.
Yeah.
And sometimes the building of the novel, the construction of it, may not be as effective.
Yeah. I like this, and I think it's great in article form, but he wrote a novel, Infinite Jest. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's 800 pages, and people are like, I can't. I read it once, I'll never do it again. So, yeah, that's a tricky thing.
Especially nowadays. No. People are going to just get intimidated.
But, it gets tricky when you have...
It's time.
There's time. Time's part of it, yeah. But, whether or not you read 10 books that are 80 pages or one book is 800 pages, it's in one way or the other, you're still reading. The hard part
But the thing is, it's one thing versus several things. And people's attention spans,
I know.
They want the many versus the one, even if it equals the same thing.
Yeah, I get you.
At the end.
They do. They're like tight little chapters, or they're like whole short stories.
Yeah.
I am too. I like that too. I like short stories too. Especially until I know I really can trust an author and really want to delve into their universe for gosh knows how long.
But that's basically because you like that artist. It's like, Prince. Some of his more artistic albums, that not commercial.
Yeah.
it's the hardcore fans that are like, I love this, the way he expresses himself, so therefore
Sure.
I'm gonna, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
listen to this.
right.
Yeah.
That's a typical of all the artists, though.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
typically, you know, there's a
But the
reason.
thing is, it's easier for other artists, I think, to reach people
Mm,
versus us, because people have to invest more in us,
mm.
in our, in getting to know our voice, than say, you know, a song. You can listen to a song in 3-4
yeah, I
minutes.
get you. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I get you.
Whereas how much time are you going to invest in this short story, this novel?
Right, exactly. Before you're gonna know, and that's why you need like reviews. You need people to.
Yeah,
Stay.
but that's the industry.
That's industry. But no, I
Yeah.
get your point there.
Yeah.
You usually can't tell right away. But the thing is that, you know, in a way, music benefits from the same thing as writing does, where somebody's gone through it and picked out the things that are easily accessible first. They picked the pop song, the one
Yeah.
that fits the 3 to 5 minutes and played on the radio and will hook you. That will be your introduction probably to that artist. You grab a random Prince song, there's a very good chance you're not going to like it, you know? And you'd be like, I don't want to listen to this. I mean, he's just breathing heavy and using metaphors for vagina. I mean, what's up? I don't want to listen to this. But then you like hear like his biggest pop songs and it's, oh wow, that's amazing. So, and then you'd be like, okay, I'm going to trust this guy. And so then you listen to the other songs and you're like, okay, this is still very good too.